What's going on, guys? Astor here with Hidden Profits Crypto. Before we get into today's video, as usual, I'm going to give a huge thanks to everybody who's been supporting the channel. We're closing in on 4,000 subs, so if you're new, welcome. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, make sure to do so. We upload 3 times a week, if not more. We show low-cap altcoins, hidden gems, and other great projects, so if that sounds interesting to you, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tick the notification bell. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into today's video. All right, guys, so I am back with some more information on the KDX token sale. Now, if you guys checked out my last video, you know it wasn't the most positive video. There was a lot of issues that I had with the public sale details that they were planning on doing, but they've since updated and listened to the community. So I think it's only fair that I update you guys as well. And like I said, there was a lot of negatives in the last video, and I think it's fair to give the Kaddex team a good representation with the changes and stuff that they've made. So I figured we would take a look at the Medium article that they put out, I think a day or two ago. But before we do that, I did want to take a quick look at Bitcoin because I'm sure you guys know the market is kind of in shambles at the moment. So without getting too much into it, let's just go ahead and head over there. All right, so here we are at TradingView. This is the Bitcoin USDT pairing for KuCoin. So like I said, we're actually a bit of a green day right now, which is actually pretty surprising. Everything's been pretty bloody red the last couple of days, as we did hit this large sell-off. Let me zoom in a bit here. We got rejected here at this, which, you know, could have been almost looked like we were going to break out of this channel. And then we just rejected and came right back down. So there's a few things that I wanted to mention here. Now, this dashed line is actually, I'm not going to zoom all the way out, but that's like our main trend line that we were following. We broke that, and then you could see here that we retested it and got rejected. And since then, we've just been going down. But I do believe that we are forming this falling channel here. So what you're going to look out for falling channel is a breakout of this upper trend line, like we thought we had right here, and then also right here. But I would assume that these were just bull traps or, you know, fake outs, whatever. But we're still going to look for that retest of this upper trend line. So I would look for something around there. Now, something else to keep in mind is that if we do fall out of this falling channel, that could be very bad. If we do see a rejection up here, we might kind of coil down, and if we just go to nothing and fall out of the bottom of this channel, that could be very bad. Now, something else I wanted to point out is if we kind of go back over here, so, you know, we had our run up to 64,000, and then we had our pullback. And this level right here, about 29,300-ish, this is where we actually bounced. And then this was the resistance that we broke to continue up for that second push. Now, if we look, this level right here is currently where we're finding support. So I'll zoom in a little bit more here. You can see right now, we're crossing up on the MACD, as well as we've got this nice green candle here. Now we need to break this little resistance right here at 35.7, and then, you know, back up to here. So I think short term, we could see a little bit of a bounce out of Bitcoin and maybe a little bit of recovery from the market. Like I said, everything's basically green in my watch list. But that doesn't mean that we can't see a rejection up here at this level. And then, you know, maybe we retest that bottom. So we're going to really just kind of have to see. But I figured I would do a little bit of an update, market update, because I didn't want to do a whole separate video for that. But let's go ahead and get into the main reason why we're here and go ahead and look in this Kaddex article. All right, so here we are at the Twitter. This was on, what is this, January 20th. So it's been about 3 days, but I figured we'd go ahead and take a look at it as they did make a few changes. So we've updated the parameters on the Kaddex public sale, as well as putting together an article on some of the most common questions. Check it out here. We're committed to ensuring decentralization of Kaddex and long-term protocol health. So they changed the amount here. So this was one of the biggest things. So, you know, we had the max amount for the sale, which is 50 million, and it was originally 5 million, which, like we talked in the last video, would have allowed basically 10 wallets to scoop up everything. So they have, and I believe that was I want to say it was 0.5% or something like that, but they actually took it down here to 0.01%, and the limit is 100,000 KDX, which is a huge improvement. Kaddex, great choice there. I think that was a very, very good call. Not only did you lower it, but you lowered it quite a bit. So I think this is a very good change here. So I'm very happy to see that. Relatively everything has stayed the same. I think they might have updated the means of payment. But before I get into any more of that, let's just go ahead and read through this article real quick. So after the announcement yesterday, our socials went wild. We heard your questions, we understand your concerns, and we're here to attempt to shed some light on all your doubt. Before we dive into it, I would personally like to point out a couple of very important points that stand close to our hearts and minds in the course of work and effort we put in every day. Kaddex team acts with the highest level of ethics and integrity at all times. We would not settle for less, and compliance with regulations is a must. I believe this is self-explanatory regarding the legitimacy of the project. We're here for the long run, and we strive always to deliver the best possible option for our community. Kaddex is a living and breathing project with strong flexibility. Changes and adjustments are integral parts of what can make a project like ours successful. So just quickly to address the regulation thing, that is the main reason why they're doing KYC. So I do want to just kind of clarify that. If, you know, I'm not the happiest that I'm, you know, US and I can't participate, but they have to, you know, if they want to be here for the long run, they have to stay up to date with these regulations. And that means they have to do this sale KYC. Yes, you might not be able to partake in the public sale, but that doesn't mean that you won't be able to get KDX on the Kaddex exchange after. So yeah, maybe you might not get in as early as you want, but that is something that they kind of have to do. And there are a lot of launch pads and other projects that are requiring KYC. And unfortunately, because, you know, just the people that are in office in the US, these are the kind of things that we have to deal with. So, you know, I seen a few people that were saying, you know, write letters and stuff to the people who actually make these rules. And I do think that is a good point. So me and anybody else in the US, if you're unhappy about that, you know, it's really not Kaddex team's fault. It's more or less our government just sucks. All of this being said, though, I do still think that it would have been a better approach from a PR standpoint to let the community know ahead of time, like, we're going to be doing KYC. US residents aren't going to be able to partake in this. And I feel like if it would have been told up front and a while back, then this entire time people wouldn't have been assuming that they were going to be able to partake, because obviously, you know, people are going to just default to that. Okay, I'm going to be able to do this, because why wouldn't they? So when you tell people last second, hey, you know, we know you were excited for months about this, but now you're not going to be able to even do it, that causes people to be angry. So I do think that is where they saw a lot of that anger from the community, or at least specifically the US people. I know a lot of people were mad. I mean, I was upset too, because I was kind of expecting to get in on this. So if I would have known, you know, way beforehand, and it wasn't such a, you know, shock, I guess, you know, there was speculation that we'd be doing KYC, but I don't think if there's an official announcement that people aren't going to, you know, expect anything. So I wanted to quickly address that. But with that said, let me clarify some of the most common points where you asked for more understanding of, not in order of importance, to clarify. So what was the rationale behind the account limit setting of 5 million per account? And more specifically, how is this considered fair and contributing to market stability, given that one account could technically buy and own 10% of the public sale, 50 million being the total? So the reason is a bit complex. The 5 million token account limit only accounted for 0.05% of the overall KDX supply, which stands at 1 billion. Therefore, the danger of centralization was virtually non-existent. Plus, the lockup period works as an extra safety consideration. After the initial public sale, we will offer another round for 9% of the supply. In accordance with the data collected in the first sale, we would have lowered the limit per account dramatically. However, we take the community's concerns to heart, and we admit that we made a mistake on the initial threshold. For this reason, we are reconsidering and plan to lower the threshold. Each account will be able to buy up to 100,000 KDX. This is 0.01% of the total supply and 0.2% of the public sale. We're confident that this new threshold will reflect the true value of decentralization we firmly believe in and want to implement. Now, I can understand that, you know, what they're saying up here, even though it's only 0.5% of the overall supply. I don't really think that's what people really cared about. I think it's more that it was so much of the public sale that you could be taking. And, you know, like I said, if only 10 wallets get that entire supply, then that kind of is screwing everybody else out of the opportunity. So I think making the limit being 100,000 KDX was a very good choice here, as that is going to open the amount of people that can actually get to the sale. You know, whales are going to buy what they're going to buy, but at least now they can only buy 100,000. So I think that was a good choice for the community here. So why we need KYC, the US won't be able to participate. To everybody's knowledge, running a sale on chain at this stage means running the risk of having bots participating in the sale. Unfortunately, there would be no actions we could take to stop them from adversely impacting your experience and jeopardizing your participation in the sale. So the Kadena network has been expanding tremendously since July. That is why we decided to collaborate with TokenSoft, which is a true trust element in this industry. On top of that, KYC is a necessity for making sure that the Kaddex strongly adheres to and complies with all regulations. Kaddex backs the long-term success of its community. As KDX is still relatively new, any token sale platform would require integration with Kadena. But the ecosystem is too small for them to have an interest in doing so. Even with integration, it would possibly mean weeks to months wait before we could maybe be able to have the sale with KDA support. We didn't want to keep you waiting in vain. So something I will go ahead and say here with this subject is I completely understand the KYC. I completely understand being up to regulations and not wanting to deal with the bots. The only thing that I will still stand by my original criticism is not being able to use KDA to buy KDX. So my own personal opinion, I think it would have been a much better idea. I know that they don't want to make people wait, but I think that the payoff between people waiting and people being able to use their KDA to buy the KDX, it would have been worth the wait. Sure, there would have been a few impatient little Timmies that would be freaking out because Kaddex isn't coming out right away. But I think the overall community would have been much happier with a decision to just kind of wait until, you know, there's a platform that has Kadena integrated in with it so that you can use your KDA to buy KDX. But with that being said, I understand that they want to just get the platform out and get it going. So that's understandable. Now, we fully understand the disappointment and upset this might have caused to any U.S. residents. Please do understand that we do not mean to exclude anyone. One of the reasons to have this sale is to launch our platform as soon as feasible. When the platform launches, U.S. residents will be able to buy their KDX there. Another thing also on top of waiting for a platform to integrate Kadena so that way you could buy it with KDA is the market is kind of complete garbage right now. So I think it might have even been beneficial for them to wait a little bit longer and maybe launch the platform when there's more eyes on crypto, because right now I'm sure there's a lot of people who have taken a step back and might not be paying as much attention, and launching your token in the middle of a little mini, I don't want to say bear market, but a little whatever it may be, might not be the best. So I think maybe waiting would have been beneficial, but there's really no way to tell. Again, this is just my personal opinion, but I did want to just throw that idea out there. So the tokenomics are not clear. Can we have an official statement on what happened during the pre-sale? Obviously, so we stand for full transparency. So here it is. The total allocated supply is 16,210,428 KDX. Total registered were 602. The token price was 0.2 KDA per KDX. Total proceeds was 3,242,085 KDA. average purchase amount being 5,385 KDA, which is quite an amount, but I believe KDA was very cheap then. So, you know, that might have not been very much money. And as the maximum supply of KDX has since increased to 1 billion, which is a 10x from what it originally was, pre-sale buyers received an amount multiplied to match the updated amount. So on the 9% sale, thereafter, you can commit to keeping the same price. This is very clear and simple. Price for subsequent sale will not change. So it will be 16 cents for that following 9% sale that they do after this initial public sale. So I believe this should substantially address the comments made for you. However, we encourage you to keep the feedback coming through our official channels. This is the only way we can improve, taking the needs of our community into account. Rest assured, we read and discuss all the messages we receive. And as this example demonstrates, we also act on them to the best of our abilities, possibilities, and swiftly as feasible. We love and respect our community. Let's keep working together and make Kaddex a reality. Mandrake. So I think that's, you know, I think that's a pretty good article. I think that was a good address to all these issues. You know, their reasoning behind KYC is understandable. Whether people are salty and upset about that, there's really just nothing you can do. I don't think anybody wants to see Kaddex ignore these regulations and then possibly take the chance of getting shut down, fined, whatever it may be that might happen. So that's understandable. I think they addressed the issue with the account limit. You know, 100,000 is very good. I think that was a good call there. Unfortunately, we still can't use our KDA, but we do know the reasoning behind that now. So I think that about wraps it up. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I figured I would, you know, give a quick update as the last Kaddex video that we made wasn't exactly the most positive thing. So I did kind of want to leave you guys on a positive note here to finish your week. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment down below. I want to hear some input from you guys as to how you think Kaddex did to address this issue. I think from a PR standpoint, they do still have a lot of work to make up for the whole situation that happened last week, but I do believe in them, and I think with them just looking forward and keep putting in the hard work, I think that the community, it'll come back around. I don't think it'll be an issue. Anyways, like I said, leave a like on the video, leave a comment, let me know what you guys think about this whole situation and how you think that they addressed it. Make sure to subscribe if you guys haven't yet. Tick the notification bell so you guys stay up to date with all my future videos. Also, if you guys want to go follow me on Twitter, hidden_crypto. Going to be working with some people, and I got a lot of really cool, great content that's going to be coming out soon. So you guys are definitely not going to want to miss out on that. Anyways, that's going to be it from me today. See you guys in the next one. And until then, peace.